Quote, the capacity to learn is a gift, the ability to learn is a skill, the willingness to learn is a choice by Brian Albert. The more we give importance to skill development, the more competence will be our youth by Narendra Modi. Good afternoon, everyone. With this beautiful and meaningful quotation, I am H.A., Associate Professor, Department of Commerce and Management, deemed it a pleasure to welcome you all for today's program. Firstly, I request Associate Professor Punita Ji, Head Department of Commerce and Management, to welcome the resource person. Hand it over, ma'am.
Yes, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, all. Patience, perseverance, a strong passion, and a belief in one's idea will definitely lead to a breakthrough, creating one's success story. These are some of the qualities of successful entrepreneur. Today, we have amongst us a similar realistic entrepreneur, Mr. Chetan BV, who possesses all these qualities. He will take us through his success story, his journey of entrepreneurship. It's up to the students to identify and carefully understand the business plan, strategies, vision, and how to succeed one goal through his talk. I, Punita Ji, Head Department of Commerce and Management, feel it a great moment to introduce Mr. Chetan BV, co-founder, director, Data Shrubs Solution Private Limited. He was born and brought up in Bangalore. Proud to share with you all that he is a SICM alumnus. He has completed MBA from Sikkim Manipal University. Early in his profession, he had served a variety of consultation services like mutual fund advisor, tech support representative, deal desk lead, which ultimately led to a path for him to become an entrepreneur. His company has received many recognitions like Emerging Award from Indian Achievers Forum, Best Startup Award from India 5000 Awards, Best Entrepreneur Award 2020 from Indian Achievers Forum, Quality Leader Award for Indian 5000 Awards, and so on. We wish you that you reach to a great heights in all your venture. On behalf of our principal, staff, and students, I welcome you to this session, sir.
Thank you, madam. The pleasure is mine.
I welcome Professor Vidya Shivannanavar, Principal, Sheshadipuram Institute of Commerce and Management, to this session. Welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
I also welcome my dear learned colleagues and my dear students to this session. Thank you, one and all. Over to you, Amar sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Moving further now, I call upon Mr. Chetan BV to address our students. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. First of all, good afternoon to everyone out there. I would love to have this session as more of an interactive one rather than a storytelling one. So if in case you have any questions in between while I continue with my sharings, whichever I'm here to do, you can stop me in between. You can ask any questions, and you will also get some time at the end to check or to have some questions, shoot some questions to me. And after the meeting as well, I would drop in my number and the email ID with Pramod sir or Vidya madam. If in case you feel that I can help you with any of the inputs out there, you're most welcome. So first of all, I would love to thank SICM, Vidya Madam and Pramod sir for providing me this opportunity, because I mean, we've been part of a lot of webinars, but this one is quite special because there's a webinar to our own institution, which I've come up with. Coming back to my introduction, I started off, I'm born and brought up in Bangalore, but right from my high school, right, I'm with Sheshadipuram. I studied in Sheshadipuram Boys High School, and from there I joined Sheshadipuram Composite PU College, which was in the same building where we all have SICM today. But then it was the recently bought building, which was a hospital. So it wasn't this big what we are seeing today. And from there, I joined SICM, which was it was launched for the first time. 2005 is when SICM was launched, which is nothing but a composite degree college. So I had the privilege of joining there. Alongside me, there were quite a lot of friends who studied with me, who joined together there. So from there, I think that is when we met Vidya Madam and all our other beloved teachers out there, who were more like friends. And it was a new experience for them. It was a new experience for us, for them being teachers, for us being a degree students. So it was fun with all those times from 2005 to 2008. Considering those times, we never thought things would go so soon and we would come up here to where we are today. And whatever has happened real good. So that's about that's about my academic things. And post that, in 2008, we had then, I mean, SICM had for the first time had launched this campus recruitment. And I was fortunate enough to be part of those recruitments, and I was hired, shortlisted by Infosys. I had got the opportunity to join them, but then due to some reasons where they had certain compliance requirements which I couldn't fulfill, I couldn't be part of Infosys. So from there, I started off as an LIC agent, because I lost. If I wouldn't have started, it was a huge recession period, 2008. So it gave me an opportunity to look out for other opportunities around. So I was an LIC agent and a mutual funds advisor in Reliance Money. Post that, in 2009, somehow I got into Hewlett Packard Enterprise as a tech support rep, because I just wanted to see what's happening, because there were no openings around there with respect to the commerce or whatever field I was into. From there, somehow in the year 2011, I was fortunate enough to join a company called Trigen Software Limited. It is not a huge company, but it is a company with decent numbers, and have a legacy of 20 plus years. And that company really shaped up my career. I would love to stress this part here, because we always think about working for big companies, right? And I have been part of working for big companies in my experience as well. But whatever we learn from small companies, small institutions out there, is something which we would cherish for the rest of our lives. Because when I say this because I joined in as a junior executive MIS in Trigent, but as the time passed by, I got a lot of opportunities and exposure to see how a business works right from the start until the end. So I was just working on the reporting and things like that. But somehow, looking at my work around, I got an opportunity from the management out there to help them with various fields. So I was part of right from the start of getting in the clients, from the pre-sales until the time we got the money from the customers, which is accounts receivables. So I had this lovely phase of working for complete QTC process. They call it as quote to cash process, which is nothing but right from the start until the end. Quote us, quoting a customer about our prices, about our products and services. From there, cracking the customers, giving them getting into an agreement with the customers, framing a team out there, operations team, looking at the efforts.
Chetan, sorry, you are muted. You have muted yourself.
Okay. I'm so sorry. Was it long back, or it was just
just about 10 seconds ago?
Yeah, all right. So I was referring to my phase in Trigen software. So right from the quote, right from the quotes which go into the customer until the money comes into our business account, that was the kind of exposure I got in Trigen. So that really helped me. That actually urged me to do something big within ourselves, right? So that is where I got my the initial spark of being an entrepreneur. So from there, somehow I wasn't financially ready, and nor I was not ready to take a risk because I had just got married and things like that. So in 2015, I was fortunate enough to join an amazing company called Adobe. I would say it as an amazing company because they treat their employees as customers. When we say as customers, that means like gods, right? In today's world, customers are gods. So that is one company which actually was an eye opener for me, where how to run a company, how to run a business by giving respect to all your stakeholders out there, and by not considering yourself as the owner of the company, but making sure that you're part of the company, and the institution itself is one. You're just here to put the efforts to grow the institution. So that's the kind of input I got in from Adobe, and I was fortunate enough to travel to different countries out there, be part of big deals out there, because I was part of Deal Desk. I was heading Deal Desk North America, where any deals which comes in with respect to the digital marketing solutions, I was part of approving the deals out there. So from there, I also got exposure to be part of Deal Desk in India, so which was a bigger phase, because we always talk about foreign countries, but trust me, there is nothing better to get educated or to gain more knowledge or to gain more inputs from your work when you're working for Indian customers, right? So Indian customers is a huge challenge. You can go to them with some $1 billion project. At the end of the day, the deal would be like selling a I mean, on a lighter note, it is like selling a aluminum tumbler. So that is how difficult it would be. You can go to any huge Indian customers, but it is very difficult to get into a deal out there. So these things really helped me out to carve my career, to understand what is the process required to become an entrepreneur. So fortunately, I had some of my like-minded individuals. I mean, some of my friends who were like-minded, who also had an urge to start off a company. And however, we waited for certain time for the right time. So the right timing is very important. So this is about my professional career until 2018. But how this business started, how the process of thinking process or the urge started was right from 2015, where I, along with my cousins and my close friend, we were always discussing about starting off a company, but we never had an idea how to start. What is the product or service we are good at, or what is that we can achieve with whatever the resource capacity or resource capitalization we have. When I say resource capitalization or capacity, whatever expertise we had amongst us. So somehow we waited until 2018. Luckily, one of my cousins, far cousins, he had his expertise in US mortgage solutions. He had been part of a couple of startups. I mean, he himself had started startups or an organization in the US, but somehow he couldn't run it for a longer time, maybe because of lack of support he had with respect to the strategies and ideas and things like that. So but he had a lot of knowledge with respect to the technical expertise in US mortgage solutions. I hope US mortgage solutions term most of you understand. To be more precise, when I say US mortgage, like we say real estate in India, it is called as mortgage in the US. So this was one of the process where one of our partners had expertise with. But alongside that, we had a couple of other partners who were very good at technology, right? So we started off in 2018. First, we started off in the US as Data Shrubs LLC, so which is a limited liability company. They call it LLC in the US. So we started off in April 2018 in the US. And in India, we started off in August 2018. It was named as DataShub Solutions Private Limited in India. It's a private limited company. And I am certainly sure that you guys know the differences between the advantages of being a private limited company and an unlimited company. So we are also established ourselves in London, UK. It is named as DataShips Technologies Limited. So our US entity is looked after by one Mr. Ajit Hatti. So he has an experience of 30 plus years. He's been part of the director clubs and huge companies like Accentures and things like that. But somehow his expertise really helped us out because he was very good at strategies and pre-sales, right, which is very key thing for running a company. So that is the best part of him being a part of our the board, right, or being a co-founder. And in the UK, we have one Mr. Chandan, who runs the UK business alongside looking after the entire operations and technology for all the three centers. So when I say this, I'm sure there'll be some sort of confusion within all of you out there, because it is in the UK, and how can one look after the operations and technology in India? See, ideally, we are five of us who started this startup named DataShips. It is three different institutions, organizations, legally, but however, the founders or the owners of the company are still five of us. And the reason we have not merged ourselves as one company and made ourselves as MNC is because we have a lot of challenges with respect to the taxes, international taxes and finance systems, right? So that's the reason, if you're a startup, you must be very careful when you think of doing what kind of a business you want to do, at what pace you want to run the business, right? So since since we were a bootstrapping startup, so when I say bootstrapping startup, that means a self-funded company. So we had no investors out there, we had no angel investors, merchant bankers, or things like that. The one reason was that nobody actually came up to help us out. At the same times, we also felt that it is better that we start off ourselves, because you get more freedom and interest when you're running your own company, right? Because you know in and out of it what is there, what is not there, and the decision making would be within you. So if in case there are investors around, we should be very, very careful while selecting the investors, because it should be outright inform them that they shouldn't be involving in most of the decision making things out there, or else you would still be more or less like a worker in any other company. I'm not degrading the name of an employer or worker, but there you have a limited space for yourself to work. There is certain process built, you shouldn't be going out of the process. But here you're thinking out of the box. Entrepreneurship is always thinking out of the box. Whatever you get in your mind, just check for the possibility out there. Is it going to happen within whatever we have? That's the thing, that's the idea. And just discuss in the board, start off. This is how simple things work out there, provided you have good funds. So we have Mr. Chandan, who's looking after London entity, DataShips Technologies Limited. And in India, we are three of us who are looking out here. As I said, one of my cousins who's good at US mortgage, his name is Mr. Nandan. So he heads the operations in India. And he also looks at the sales and business development in getting the mortgage clients from the US. So that is his areas of expertise. And I have one Mr. Puneet, who's alongside me as a director in India entity, legally, and he looks after the accounts and the administration part for all the three entities, right? So that is his expertise. He has 12 plus years of experience in that field. And I have the expertise with respect to the human resources, finance and accounts. and legal and compliance. So how I got into all these expertises is in Trigen software, I was fortunate enough to look after both human resources as well as the finance and accounts part. And I was given a title as lead business operations, where I used to look after the entire thing out there. So that is where I got the exposure with respect to the F&A and the HR. In Adobe, I was working to Deal Desk. So Deal Desk not only approves the prices for your customers, they also look into the terms and conditions and the compliances which needs to be sorted before we get into an agreement, the terms and conditions to be reviewed and things like that. So these things helped me out to look after or got me additional interests to look after the legal and compliance part. So my expertise, which my efforts in data shrubs is more to do with in the fields of finance and accounts, human resources, and legal and compliance. So these are the three aspects which I look into data shrubs here. So ideally, to put in a nutshell, we are 5 of us here with different expertise in our capacities or in our experiences which we have, and that's the best part. We all have different expertise where nobody would involve in others' decision making. However, we still discuss in the board before taking any bigger decisions which will impact the running of a company. But the decision making at the end of the day would be with respect to the head of such portfolio, whatever we are looking at, right? So that's the best part we had, and we were also like-minded. When I say like-minded, we must make sure that the mindsets of your partners to start off a company should match with yours. When I say mindset, it shouldn't be only with respect to the profession, with your personal lives as well, because whatever you've been brought up, right, whatever your personal experiences are, is purely directly directly applying to whatever you do in your profession. So if you have to have that ease of work, the like-mindedness is very important, especially when you're looking out for partners out there. So this will help in decision making without any hiccups in between, no hurdles in between. You can run the company in a smoother way. Obviously, there will be a lot of issues, a lot of structural issues, a lot of legal and compliance issues, operational issues day in, day out. But these are part and parcel of running a business. However, these the relationship issues is something which should be written off before we start off a company. So that is very, very, very important. So this is a bit of how we started off Data Shrubs. We started off in 2018, and when we started off, we were literally searching for an outlet which would help us to, a small area. The infrastructure is the first challenge for everyone who wants to start off a business. So we were looking at whatever small area we could get in a big city like Bangalore. Well, somehow we were fortunate enough to find one decent enough area in Nagasandra. We are located in Nagasandra, the last metro station. Our office is right behind the metro station. So that was the best part where we finalized our infrastructure, because it really helps a lot of customers and the employees also to come in and work out here, because that's another challenge. So wherever we need to, we are finalizing the infrastructure, we must make sure that it is really helping out to all your stakeholders. So we located this area, and we finalized an area of 300 square feet initially, but today we have the entire building. We are running an entire building. We started off with 2 employees. One was supporting the BPO solutions, which is the US mortgage, which I was talking about, and the other one was supporting the PCB designing part, the technology which I was discussing about. So we started off as two different functions, just two different functions. One is into BPO and one is into technology. Under BPO, it was just US mortgage. And under technology, it was just PCB designing, where a designer or an engineer, a hardware engineer, would sit and design your printed circuit boards. When I say PCB designing, it's nothing but your boards which will get into any of your electronic devices, right? From your mobile to your TVs and computers and things like that. So we started off designing that, but as the days passed by, we got to understand that it is not going to happen if we are looking at one areas, right? And with our experience, the collective experience at the board, what we have is 60 plus years. So with our experience, we were very clear that we shouldn't be stopping at any time. We have to be aggressive enough to be in the system out here. So that's the reason we always bettered ourselves from one sector to another, from one business area to another business area. So we started off with these two industries at the start with 2 employees, and today we are 120 plus globally. So that's something which we are really fortunate enough. I would certainly believe that all these happened initially through God's grace, and then whatever efforts we had put in, because that is very, very important thing. So when I say God's grace, it need not be something we worship. It can also be the kind of mindset we have while we are working here. So all these things put in together to form a company. So from there, 2018 we started, and today we are at 120 plus. This is a kind of growth which we've had at Data Shrubs. So today, when we started as in technology, we were just PCB designing. Today we are into complete product engineering services. When I say complete product engineering services, we right from designing a product, right, until that product comes out in the market, we are capable of doing it. We have designers, we have hardware engineers, we have software engineers, we have firmware engineers, we have IoT engineers. So all these things put in together, we've been aggressive enough to make sure that the initial few years we'll have to look at bettering ourselves, creating a brand and things like that. If in case we are starting off a business with the whole and soul intention of making big margins and huge money, that's not going to happen. I'm sure that's not going to happen until and unless you're coming up with a niche product, something like Tesla or things like that. It's really not going to happen. So we should be very careful. We should be very patient enough. Perseverance and the patience is the key to success with respect to your entrepreneurship. So from there, today we have established ourselves until the complete product engineering services company until 2020. And even in the BPO, it was just titled services. But today we are also looking at medical insurance fields and things like that, which is again the US market. So we've been expanding ourselves at a decent pace, which is very important. Aggressiveness is really, really important, but the risk has to be calculated. As I mean, the growth comes up. The growth is always a great thing to happen, but alongside growth, you also have an added responsibility. So we must be very careful in taking any decisions out there to actually have a microscopic view of whatever you're looking at in the business. So all these things really helped us out. Today in 2020, in the year 2020, we somehow thought that things are getting automated out there. So see the next thing in the technology or the industry out there is IoT and AI, the artificial intelligence, and your Internet over Things devices, which is coming into the picture. So this really made up our mind to make sure that we should also start off something, being a product company, right? Most of your services out there, right from whatever we are looking at. We were looking at book entry systems when I was studying in SIC. We were entering the accounts in the books. Today we have softwares out there. Similarly, wherever you are, your softwares and AIs has been replacing the services completely. If not 100%, at least 50 to 60% of your manforce or the services a person can give has been automated through a software uh, whatever IoT devices which I'm talking about. Through the technology, it's been getting replaced. So we must make sure that we are not in that risk of ending the firm being just being a services company. So that really urged us to be a product company, and we were fortunate enough to have few like-minded individuals who wanted to join us and run their what do you call it, run their ideas which they want to execute in the market out there, because even they would have a lot of challenges working for bigger companies out there where they will have no freedom out to test on their ideas. But DataShubs was one organization. I mean, it continues to be one organization to actually provide a podium to all these great brains out there, because we have n number of talents out there. Just because one person is not good at communication or he's not studied in any I schools out there, it doesn't mean that he's not intelligent or he's not smart enough to run a business. So we should actually look into what a person carries within himself, what kind of urge he has, what is the fire he has within himself. So these things are the keys which we think about before recruiting. So we were fortunate enough to get all these individuals who wanted to join us and start off their own things within DataShubs. And things are really working out well. We have completed a prototype stage of our initial IoT electronic product, which is going to be launched globally. We are looking at launching this on Vijay Dashmi, which happens to be our anniversary. Fingers crossed. I hope it will really work out well, and we are competing with a product of Apple. So that's how big, how riskier we have taken this step out there. But success doesn't come without a risk. That is something we always believed in. So we are coming up with a smart water bottle, which will actually help students, rather than students, children out there, help, and which will be a kind of a savvy thing for athletic people out there, because it's been the next market out. And we've made sure that we have all the features provided. That's a challenge. We'll have to make sure that whatever competition we have out there has to be fulfilled within the product which we are giving. At the same time, we should also make sure that the prices are very economical compared to all these competitors out there. So that's the kind of minute things we'll have to look at. And today, we really, when I'm saying this, I'm really happy to say that we are, being a product company, we are launching our IoT product shortly. And later in the call, I will just showcase you a couple of websites we have, one of the services, and we are just, there is a work in progress stage with respect to our products as well, the website with respect to our products. So I will be sharing it. You can have a look at it, but we have a number of products lined up to come up with. However, since it's a bootstrapping startup, we don't have enough funds to start off all at once. So we are hitting the markets, studying the markets and hitting the markets accordingly. What is the next best thing? What is the product which is not out there and which would really help people out there? Those are the kind of things which we are looking at. And with that aspect, we started off with a smart water bottle, and followed up by, we have a smart watch which is coming out there. It is not a smart watch which we are talking about, which we wear today everywhere. It's not that kind of a watch. This watch really helps for the thalassemia patients, and there is there is a huge set of people. There are huge set of people in North America and most of the EU sites, European countries, where they suffer from a disease. I don't remember the disease name. They suffer from a disease uh, which will uh, which will need them to drink water, plenty of water every time. So these things are real, getting high number in those countries out there, and we don't have the right product which would help such patients out there. So all these things put in together, and also nowadays we have a lot of security issues for children out there, children in India or in any other country. So these, putting all these things together, we are coming up with this smartwatch, which will actually have or give the clarity of when you have to drink the water or where you are at this point in time. This will help parents track it, and this is all going to be done through cloud. So that's another thing which we are looking at. So these are the couple of ideas or products which we are starting off with, but down the lane we have lined up a lot of things which would help even the governments out there, so which I'm not able to discuss at this point in time. So this is more to do with how we have come up in data strips. This is a kind of cycle at data strips. The organization which we've been running, but this is more or less about data strips. If you going forward, what I would love to share with you guys is that what are the key things to start off a business, how it really helps for us to finalize whether you're ready to be an entrepreneur and things like that. So there are few areas which we need to make a note of when we think of being an entrepreneur. So right from the start until end, there are few key areas. So initial area is doing an R&D or creating an R&D department. When I say R&D, it doesn't mean that you're doing an R&D on the product alone. It also happens to do with the research you do with, or the survey you do in the market, to come up with what kind of a service or a product. So this is a very key thing to start off. It is the start of the start or the urge you get to start off a startup, right? So R&D is the first stage where you'll have to discuss with your stakeholders, understand which is the best product or service which would really help us with our expertise, whatever we have, to run the start of a company. So from there, the next point or the next bigger sector which we need to look at is vertical, we need to look at is marketing and advertisement. How good are we with respect to marketing ourselves? How different are we with respect to marketing ourselves from the competitors out there? And how ready are we to advertise the products? Is it completely sophisticated to stand in front of your competitors? It may be in India. Nowadays, it's not the discussion about India, it's global. Wherever you're launching any small product within the country, it has been reaching people globally with all these social networking sites out there. So we need to be very careful in making all these decisions with respect to marketing and advertisement. And then the next bigger thing which we have to look at is the sales and business development. It is a very key factor, very painful one. When I say painful, it doesn't mean that it is not going to happen, but you learn a lot when you are in sales and BD side of the business, because you'll have to keep away all your personal emotions separately, and you'll have to make sure that you're talking to the customers in whatever mood you are. You're talking to the customers to make them to with respect to whatever things they are interested in, and at any stage of your emotions, whatever you have within you, you'll have to come out of it and make sure that you have delighted your customer. So customer success is very important. So before we talk about customer success, right from starting or finding out the customers is a bigger thing. So when it comes to sales and BD, we have two similarly sounding aspects, but two are completely different, which has been the talk of the town nowadays with any big companies or smaller companies or startups. uh, we'll have to look at a couple of strategies. One is go-to-market strategy. It is called as GTM. And the next biggest strategy is route to market, which is RTM. So although both sound similar, there is a lot of difference here. When we say go-to-market, we are looking at uh, eyeing on the targeted audience. I mean, targeted customers. Whom are we reaching out to? That is some strategy we'll have to work on. Who are our customers? Who are our targeted audience to sell our services and products? That is a very, very key important aspect we need to look at. And then comes in the route to market. How is the question? Route to market is how. We found out the go to market, but how do we reach out to them? What is the route? So these are the two important strategies. I mean, I'll not be able to talk more about this for a number of reasons, but GTM and RTM are two key factors when you're running a business, especially with respect to sales and business development. So if you have these two strategies set right, nothing is stopping you. Trust me, nothing is stopping you. So these are two key things which comes in sales and business development. And with this efforts, you'll make sure that there are customers who have come into our who have been partnered with us. And from there, the next challenge we get is with respect to legal and compliance. So although the words look legal and compliance look more of a supporting service within a company, trust me, it is a huge thing or a huge responsibility to make sure that you're compliant with all the statutory things out there within your state governments, within your central governments. And also, if you're an MNC or you're running a business globally, you should make sure that it is all compliant within whatever rules or the laws has been set within set countries. So this is a very key thing, very important thing, that we should have one sound person who would really have a sound knowledge of all these compliant areas with respect to laws and things like that. And also with respect to the legal, you should make sure that you have the right person who has the knowledge of the laws and who can actually key in the right points in your agreements. When we say legal, they really help us out with respect to creating and signing the agreements. And they are the ones who would actually safeguard you from ending up with certain issues down the line. So they'll make sure that the terms and conditions covered inside the agreement are very well bound within the interest of the company as well as the customers. So that is a very key thing, a very challenging aspect for a legal to run to help, especially the MNCs out there. So these are the two support services, but very, very important areas which we need to look at while running a company: legal and compliance. And then the next interesting or an important part is with respect to human resources. So I'm not sure about the day-to-day in the academics field or in the institutions, what students think about. But when I was a student, most of the people out there would love to be an HR because it's an easy job, is what they believe in. I mean, being an HR settled, that is what they think. And being an HR is just like a quote they say, like, if you're a government employee. So similar phase, HR was termed similarly, but today it's not that way how it is going to happen. Human resources plays a huge role in running the company without any issues. They'll make sure that there are no hurdles or issues or human relations issues inside the company, which is a very key aspect. As I said earlier, resource capital is very, 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 very important. And to make sure that these resource capital is still tight and tidy with us, we should have a sound human resources system within the business. So, and when I say sound human resources system, our major areas of interest should be towards being an employee-centric organization, right? So, if we are not going to look after our employees, I mean, trust me, there's nothing going to happen. You might have billions of dollars in your reserves, but if you're not looking after your employees today, 5 or 6 years down the lane, the company wouldn't be out there. Because today it's all about being an employee-oriented company. I mean, you can see things out there. We have a lot of competition to be a best place to work. That is also a part of how a company is being judged or is being rated worldwide. So we need to have a key human resources team to make sure that there are no hurdles or issues which is hampering the company's run. And then the next key important part, which we all know, I would call it as H2O, oxygen of your business, the finance and accounts. So we must make sure that we have very cool-minded person who's looking after the finance and accounts, because that role of finance and accounts, wherever you are, is never going to be a smoother one. You're always put into challenges. You're always, even though you're having a huge number of profits, you're always tested and asked for more. And how do you do it? What are the ways to do it? What are the requirements of doing it? Again, you'll have to decide it within. You should make sure that this role is always being updated to whatever markets have been updating with, or else you'll be left behind. And if in case we don't have a sound finance system within the organization, I'm sure things will fall down within a couple of years. So that is how big being a key finance guy your role is in the company. There'll be no applauses for you, or there'll be no rewards or awards or shout outs for you when the systems are running smooth. But when the systems are down, you're under loss, the very first thing which will be checked or pointed out towards us towards the finance controller's job. So we should make sure that the system, whatever finance system, whatever the budgets and whatever forecasting we've done, we've made sure it is all inside the system. All these processes have been running smoothly. And there are two important things when we are running a finance, and I'm sure it's a very key thing we have all studied in our POC and in our graduations and things like that. And I would still love to stress here as well. There are only two things to make your business run smoothly or make your business get better day by day, is either by reducing the cost or by increasing the profits. So this sounds very simple, but to run either of them, right? Either of them, it is going to have, it is a roller coaster ride for sure. You'll enjoy it. So we must make sure that we are always, every day we are looking at our accounts and finances out there. What is the best thing to come out of it? How can we better ourselves with respect to the profits out there? So these are the key things, or these are the few important things which will come to my mind as of today with respect to F&A. But however, there are a lot more to it, which I would not be able to explain today, considering the time frames. And the next key important aspect is with respect to the operations, right? This is where people comes into the picture. Your resource capital. Running an operations is nothing but being a leader, right? It is purely being a leader. You will have to make sure that the people who's working for you are in the right state of mind. you'll have to make sure that they have been given all those facilities which they are in need of. Even if it is not a business, to talk about their personal mindsets, I would always suggest, or I have always seen a lot of operational leaders being successful purely because of having that personal touch to each and every members, their team members out there, be it a new joinee who's joined inside the system, or to the senior most key resource in the system. The person who's running the operations, the head of operations, should always make sure that he has that personal touch with all these people, at least to understand what's happening in their lives. It's not like just going there and talking to them every day. Sometime you're around and you get a chance to talk, we'll have to talk to them, feel them, make them feel better. That they should feel, they should have that warmth feeling when they are working at our organization. That's how big is this role of running the operations. We get n number of challenges each and every day with all these COVIDs and pandemics out there. Operational challenges are huge. I mean, we can certainly understand this even in our institutions. I'm sure Vidya Madam or even Pramod sir would be very well aware of it. How difficult was it to run the system in the pandemic? The operations with respect to the educational institutions has completely changed its way. It hasn't impacted the digital technological companies, but with respect to all these the other areas like the sports and your educational areas, and also your product companies where you have tangible products, constructions and things like that, like garments and textiles and all these products, right? It has drastically changed all these things. So whoever is running the operations should make sure that you're running it very smoothly. You're running it in a most economical way for your finance team to be happy of. You're running it more smoother way for your human resource team to be happy of, and you're running it in a right way to make sure that you yourself has been are happy with whatever you're working with respect to operations. So it's a very key aspect, operations. We must make sure that we have right kind of patience, and we have right kind of mindset to be a people man. So operations is nothing but a people man. You should be a leader rather than a boss. So I'm sure all of us have seen a lot of those quotes and pictures out there with respect to being a boss and being a leader. So I need not talk about the differences, but being a leader is very important. And if you're a leader, I'm sure operations is the right way for you to look at, right areas for you to look at. Or if in case you're running a company, you'll have to make sure that there is a right leader in the operations, heading the operations. And the last and the key important aspect or the part in running a business is your customer success, right? It was called as customer support, customer satisfaction earlier, but in today's world, it's been called as customer success. So when we say customer success, we as the vendors for our customers, we must make sure that whatever services we are providing is really helping them out. Apart from we just rendering the services and taking the money or the revenue which we are supposed to get for the services, we should also look into their aspects, their challenges, which would really which would really make them feel better being our partners, right? So this is where the customer success comes into the picture. We should understand what they are undergoing as of today with respect to the operational challenges, and we should put our step forward to help them out in whatever they are. It might not be monetary at the initial stage, but if in case you're putting that efforts, whoever is running the customer success is putting that efforts to make sure that your customer is succeeded in whatever he's working on. I mean, it's nothing like it. You for sure you're going to run your system for hundreds of years. So that's how big being a customer success team is. So this is another key important aspect which is not talked about more in our books. However, this is a realistic key aspect which we have to look at while we run a company. So I think that's more or less of the points which I thought of sharing with all of you people out there. If in case you feel you want any other inputs out there, please feel free to check with me, or you can also shoot out some questions if you have within you. You can ask me the questions with respect to our organization's growth, or with respect to the experience, how we gained and things like that. Yeah, I think I'm waiting for some questions. And if in case you're not feeling free to have the questions right away, you can put it in the chat box.
Questions are invited in the chat box only, Chetan, for your kind information, because we don't allow them to unmute themselves.
Awesome. Makes sense.
So in case if anybody have any question, please put it in the chat box, students.
Disturbance the echo.
I think Pramod sir, you are sitting with one of our faculties out there who's also logged into the system.
No. Actually, I'm out. Wait, I'll just check with what.
That's the reason it echoes.
Yeah. But I'm not there actually. I've come out. Anyway, I'll just recheck once.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I would love to call all of you as friends. Please feel free. Consider me as your friend, because I was also part of SICM. It's a great institution, and I love to answer your queries.
Students, if you have any questions, you can put in the chat box.
While we get the questions, Vidya madam, were you looking at anything else apart from whatever we discussed now? Do you want me to address anything else?
I don't think so. Okay. How do we build customer relationship? We have one question from Navneet Krishna.
Awesome. Yeah. So customer relationship, that's the aspect which I spoke about at the end. The key aspect today, it is called as customer success. How do we build? we should make sure that there is one person who's always in touch with the said customer. Nowadays, customer success is a huge team. It's a huge department. Within them, there'll be a lot of managers, or the roles which will be called as account managers. It's not your F&A, finance and accounts, but account manager he's accountable for that customer, right? So these AMs, account managers, should make sure that they are in constant touch with the customer with respect to the services we are giving, as well as they should also make sure that, to understand the challenges which they are having as an organization. And if in case we can help them out, we should certainly do it. That's how important it is, and that's a way to build a customer relationship. Making sure that whatever you're doing is compliant enough, and if in case you are at a fault, make sure that you send out the soundbite to the customer stating that so and so issue has been happened and we regret for the inconvenience. It will be fixed immediately. It is as simple as how we all have been brought up. Being truthful to your customers is very important. As I said, customers should be treated as gods, because it's not that tangible customer person who's representing there is a god, but we should treat the customers as god, because they are the ones who are helping us to run the business. Indeed, we are also helping them to run the business, but we should make sure that we are always in touch with them. We should understand their challenges with respect to the business which we are providing, as well as their challenges with respect to what they are undergoing as of today. And building the right rapport, the account managers building the right rapport, and also sometimes having the direct connects occasionally from director to director, if in case it is allowed in the customer side. All these things really helps out. I hope I've answered your question, Navneet.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes,
He has one.
please. Yes, please.
Navneet, you can unmute yourself.
My question is, if I was your customer and I would come to you to buy your product, how would you convince me to buy your product and hopefully keep me stuck onto your product in future?
Yeah. So there are two aspects here. One is the kind of welcome I give you. If in case you're talking about you being a tentative customer, it's the kind of welcome I give you, or it's the kind of market I do myself with respect to our product. If in case you're talking about being an existing customer and you're looking at an additional product or service, you should make sure that you talk about all those success stories which you have had until today with the respective customer. And first of all, give him the warmth. Do not get into the picture immediately. It's not like reading out a news. It is more to do with how we build up the relationship, to understand the personal challenges or social things which is happening out there, and then come into the picture of come into the discussions about the product. And I'm sure when we are talking about the products, we'll have certain people who would be good at marketing themselves within your system. You should make sure that you'll pitch in them while you're talking to your customers. You being an entrepreneur cannot do everything. And if in case there is any even newcomer within the system is good at convincing a customer, you must allow them to put your ego out there towards the side. Whatever the person he may be, if in case he's talented enough to talk to the customer, or if you found him as a key customer to a key person to talk to your customers, go ahead and give him the chance to do it and be present there. In case things are going wrong, you'll have to pitch in and make them understand, or in case things are going right as well, you'll have to pitch in and make them feel more better. These are the few things which I could think of, Navneet, at this point in time. And also, if you're selling your products, you can talk about some giveaways and things like that. Souvenirs is the next best thing, which is happening all worldwide today. So when I say souvenirs, it's gifts which we give to our customers, because legally you're not allowed to give them apart from the gifts. And also these gifts has certain clauses in the compliances, state and central compliances. You must make sure that you are abiding by all these things, and you'll have to run this process smoothly.
Thanks. I have one last question.
Please go ahead. I'm happy.
I wanted to know if this is true. They sell in the selling, what do you say, the aspect of selling.
Yeah.
They say that story sells, not the product. I want to know if that's
yes,
how it works.
Certainly. As I said, that's why I said the key thing is sales and BD, right? Even if you're selling Apple, trust me, even if you're selling Apple product today, there are a lot of other competitors out there. If you don't have the right person who's doing the sales for you, you're going to lose it, even though you are a market head there. I mean, I'm not sure how good is it for me to talk about it, but let me not name the company. But one of the companies I was working with were really were leaders in certain sectors worldwide, right? And you know how the challenges was. We had competitors within Bangalore. I mean, they were just in a 2 BHK flat in HSR layout. They were giving a stiff competition to such big companies. So if in case you don't have the right person to sell the product or sell the service, and to make sure that you're constantly selling it to them with the right customer success elements within, I'm sure we are going to lose it out. So even though you have a monopoly system or monopoly business you're running out, we'll have to be ready to look out for competitors. And if that is if that has to be right, we'll have to make sure that there's a right sales guy. He has to talk, and whenever he's talking, he should talk sense. There shouldn't be any. He should be politically correct. He should be diplomatically correct. He should make sure that what is the customer's mindset. He should get into the customer's shoes and understand what is his thinking, what is his perspectives, and he should only treat that, target those things. So as far as I've seen sales, I worked with sales very closely. They would have got millions of dollars in their bucket this month, but they wouldn't still sleep. They would still be thinking overnight, looking out for the next customers, what are their aspects, what are their interests, and start gaining some knowledge to talk about it. So this is how big it is to have the person who can sell the stories. I mean, right stories. Stories should also be very right, or else it can end up you with huge trouble. Does that answer your question, Navneet?
Yes.
Okay. Any more questions? Come on, girls, we have women power out there. Make sure you also participate. We have a best example. We have Vidya madam with us. I mean, she's an inspiration for all of us.
Yeah, students, if you have any doubts, kindly ask.
I have one more question, ma'am. Sorry.
Yes, please.
No,
Go
sorry,
ahead.
please.
How would you tackle a problem in case of, I'm talking in case of mindset, if any problem in your company or your customers, like that? I'm talking about the problems you have in your company, within
our company.
Like
Are you talking about relationship issues?
Yeah, he is talking about human relations.
Human relations. Awesome.
Like, who would tackle, and what was your insight?
Employee relations, right?
Yeah.
So this really helps me to answer this question because I had human resources globally. So see, running or being a part of human resources itself a great blessing. We need to be very open. We need to be we need to understand the perspectives. There are few things right from our childhood we would have judged it, or we would have decided that that's not the right thing. But being in human resources, there is nothing right or wrong. It is only to understand, listen, what was the aspect, what was the perspective of a person or issue which has happened out there. You need to be patient enough. You first have to make sure that whatever issues happen will not spread. Okay, at that point in time, it would have spread, it wouldn't have spread. But if it is already spread across, you should make sure that it will not spread further with whatever actions you're putting in. If in case it is a huge thing for people out there to talk about, it is already spread and it is creating chaos around, you must react to it in such a way that it is nothing, right? That mental, what do you call it? I mean, your mental intelligence is very important out there. Your emotional intelligence aspect is very important, emotional EQ quotient. You should react in such a way that when you being a head of such department, if you are not giving a damn for it, half of the people out there would be filtered thinking about this, talking about nonsense things out there, and the rest part would be taken care automatically. You will call, you will make sure that whatever discussions happens further would be happening within four walls, within a cabin, and you should also make sure you should give a chance for such person or for that issue to understand it very clearly, right? We cannot just decide with whatever rumors or issues have just happened. It has happened. We need to understand. We need to do R&D of how it started, from where it went, and with respect to being working in human resources, you must also look into both professional and personal aspect when you're deciding certain things. So it is very important to make sure that you understand it very clearly and put in the right solutions. As I said, one of the examples is whatever I just gave. You should react to it in such a way that it is nothing to the crowd out there. And it can also be the other way around. If it is required, you should react in such a way that it is so much and it has not happened. I mean, whatever has happened is happened. You cannot leave it that way. But it depends on the circumstances. It depends on whatever time, whatever issue we are looking at. So this really helps in your daily life, Navneet. We have a lot of things to learn out there. When I'm talking to you, I'm really excited to learn few things from you as well. So these things really help.
I'm very inquisitive about that. I always wanted to work with a startup so that I could learn the business from the roots to wherever it's headed.
Awesome. So one of my colleague, I mean, today we all know about Cred, right? The Cred startup. I'm not sure if most of you know. There is something called as Cred, which is actually tied up with your credit cards, and it is a startup which is already gained billions of dollars. And he has a quote which I really find it true. Right, the day when India starts celebrating entrepreneurs and stop celebrating the movie stars, India will prosper, right? That is very true. As of today, with respect to all those help we are getting from the central government, being a startup, the ease of startup is very easy here. As on today in India, we must really make sure we must look at building that mindset. That is one input which I could give.
Yeah, anybody else have any doubts or any questions?
Though Karnataka stands in second position in startups, few entrepreneurs say it is difficult to start up a business in Bangalore due to lack of government support. What's your view on this and how to tackle it? Well, Pravisha, this is, although the question looks very simple, it is a huge topic to talk about. When you talk about these few entrepreneurs who are saying it is difficult to do a startup, we need to understand what kind of a startup they are looking at, in which area and things like that. If they're looking at something to do with the compliance issues within the state government, it is really difficult. To name a few, like supporting something or automating something, some processes within the system of the government, it is quite difficult because they always think of the employees also out there, because if you automate everything, most of the jobs would go out. I mean, the government jobs wouldn't be out there. This is one of the instance I could give. Politically, there are a lot of non-political things which I could talk about, but I refrain from doing so. But as far as I know, I mean, I've seen a lot of people whom I've met and who are very successful being a startup, especially in Bangalore. I mean, it's very easy to do a startup in Bangalore. Trust me, I'm telling you. And nowadays, even angel investors are right in front of your door, provided you have the great idea. Yeah, Siddharth, I have a question on how we should choose a product. The company is product based. Simply speaking, how is it that your company is willing to work on a water bottle or any other product that you have in line out of all the various options out there? Good one. Good question, Siddharth. See, this was a part of thing which we discussed in R&D, right? We need to look out for the surveys out there and search for certain market surveys. What are the things which is really savvy to the current generation? Are you updated to the current market? So today, I'm sure it doesn't look, I mean, in India, I'm not sure how big it is, but anywhere out there, right? Having a smart water bottle in your hand is a cool thing. It's a what do you say? It's a next best thing, which has happened after smart watches. We had smartphones era, smartwatches era is done. Now all these IoT products like your smart water bottles and whatever you do. Nowadays, the crowd out there or the young generation out there are more into enjoying their life without even thinking of savings and things like that. They want to spend it towards their life, spend their money, whatever they have, to enjoy their life. They wouldn't even think twice before spending too much, whether it is required or not. When I say that, even today I'm surprised when some of my friends would go and buy an Apple Watch, right? Because they would also come from modest families, but today they are okay to spend on smartwatches. So that's how the world has been developed. So we should make sure that what is the next best thing out there out of all these options which is there, and the key department which will look into all these things is research and development. And certainly the board will be part of it, making these decisions to look at the reports and things like that. But we need to be well prepared before we finalize on a product. That's for sure. Good question though, Siddharth. It's a mix and match. That's a good follow-up question. It's based on the market more than it's based on the strengths of the company. Yes, it's more based on the market than more strengths of the company, because you can always develop your strengths, but changing the market is not in your hands. It has its own pace to develop, but I wouldn't say it is always on the market, so that you don't even have the strength to run. It is more to do like a 60-40 concept, Siddharth. If in case you have a couple of them who could help you with these market research products, and you still want to have 3 more people, I'm just talking to you on the ratio 2:3. You should go ahead and hire those 3 people and make sure, like-minded people, and make sure that you have this product within you. So it's more or less like a 60-40 concept, where 60 you should go through market and 40 is with the strengths of your company, because strengths can be bettered anytime. You are always bettering your strength in your personal life as well every day. Does that answer your question, Siddharth? Awesome.
I have another question.
Yes, please, Krishna.
When you came up with the idea of your startup, when you set it up in Bangalore, when you attracted investors, what was your approach to them with your business model?
I think, Navneet, you missed a part where I was discussing about our company.
Yeah,
it's a bootstrapping startup. Okay, and it's a self-funded company. Even today, we don't have outside investors, although we are looking out for certain now, because we are being a product company, we cannot reach out being a bootstrapping startup. But it is all done through whatever we've earned all these years. And you'll have to give your whole and soul to do it. And if in case you're looking at talking to your investors and making sure that the investors would come and join their hands, I think I answered one of the questions which Pravisha had. We should make sure that our idea is really good, which is different from others. Approaching is also very important. How prepared are you when you're talking to a person? You can create whatever colorful PPTs you want, but talking makes a real change in getting your angel investors. When I say talking, you'll have to be to the point. They are always busy. They wouldn't have a hell lot of time for you to talk. You should be well prepared. It is more or less like a customer success. You should understand their perspectives, how their organization personally looks at finalizing organization to fund another organization to fund, right? So you should study all those. You should be well prepared and make sure that you present it to them in a right way. So whoever is talking there to your investors must be real good. Is that good, Navneet? Were you expecting something else? Awesome. Anything else, team? Do we have any more questions? Or any suggestions from any of the staffs out there? Or if you have any queries to me?
Thank you, sir, for your valuable inputs. Now I call Pramod Devi, Associate Professor, Department of Commerce and Management, to give guidelines regarding the PSDC. Over to you, sir.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, first of all, with lot of friendly gesture, I would like to appreciate Chetan Devi for an excellent presentation. And your last sentence made a lot of sense, Chetan. You said that whatever colorful PPT is, it always the content that wins. Okay, and your content today has definitely won the hearts of most of my students, because normally we see them getting out in the middle of the sessions, but you have held forth and they have definitely stayed till the end of the session. So that's
awesome.
the feedback.
I'm delighted to understand that.
Carry along with, because I've been looking very seriously at the number of participants, because I'm supposed to do that.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, and I'm really grateful to the students for being completely here. A small guide for them before we go to the presidential remarks and vote of thanks. Just 5 minutes I'll take, not more. See, this is for the students. Now, on looking at this particular beautiful session that was given by Chetan, on hearing this session, I have drafted one small idea. Now, I'll give you time for today and tomorrow. You can form the team of 4 people of your choice. Okay, and by Monday, which are the 4 people in your group, you have to communicate to your class teacher. All 4 of you can prepare a common report. Please listen here. All of you can prepare a common report, but individually you have to prepare the reports. Content may be same, but when you put the first sheets, it has to be in different names. You can come out with a product of your choice or a service of your choice. Do the groundwork or the market research as explained by Chetan. Connect it to what your product is. Take what are the various ingredients that you need if it is a product, or how strengthening you are going to create for your human resource or human capital. Based on that, you design a product, come with the operations or production, marketing, HR, maybe R&D. I will give an exemption because for your age, it looks little out of your limit. Just a 20-page report we want from you, and I will give you time for today and tomorrow to decide who are your partners, 4 people. Okay, and you can frame your own groups and send it to your class teacher by Monday. If by Monday we don't get the groups, I will decide and make the team of 4. So we will have a comparison between those 2 itself, and we will get a live example of what actually Chetan had addressed today. When you form a group of your own, the output will be excellent. When you form a group which I have insisted, the output will actually be meager. That evidence we can have with us. And one more point I would like to add on. When you people meet, now you are not coming to the colleges, so you'll be meeting together in Google Meet or maybe Zoom platform, whatever it is. All of you have to switch on the video, and whenever you have conducted the meeting, that screenshot should be shared in the report compulsory. With videos on, not like this. Now I'm able to see only the videos completely switched off except for 2 or 3 people here. Okay, so I want all of you to do this. So listen to me carefully. How you are supposed to prepare the report, what should be the content of the report, I will share it. I will request your class teacher to share it. That will reach you by Monday evening. Today and tomorrow, your job is only to form the team of 4 and ensure that you build a strong thought process in your mind as to what product you are going to take for the reporting purpose. Remember, up to now it was complete information which was beautifully shared by Chetan. Now next part is your time, because you people have 100 marks for this. 75 marks will be for the report that you are going to prepare. 25 marks will be for the presentation. All the 4 group members who will be together, all of you have to compulsorily make the presentation. The date and time of presentation, everything will reach you in WhatsApp messages and also in iPhone messages. Don't worry about it. But today and tomorrow, it is your product decision and your team members' decision. Okay, this is what I wanted to say. Further communication will reach to you in group through your class teacher. Thank you. Over to you, Amar sir.
Thank you, Pramod sir. Now I request our beloved principal, Professor Vidya Shivanavar ma'am, to give our presidential remarks. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you, Amar sir. My dear students, I hope today you all had a fruitful session. Actually, Chetan spoke very well. He gave you a complete picture of a business idea, and we normally give it in a theoretical way. He initially started with how promoters struggle to start a business, and then how idea generation happens. After idea generation, if you have a proper idea, you have to search for the investors. Okay, and then you have to go and find out what is the material, okay, or machines which are required. Okay, and what are the kind of people that you have to recruit, how you have to approach your market, how a R&D from the market has to be done. So a complete picture about how a business has to be started. He also told his success story, which will definitely inspire you people to become entrepreneurs further. SICM would be very happy to look entrepreneurs like Chetan in the coming days. So this thought of conducting this event was from Pramod sir, who took initiative. It is actually one particular subject for us in Bangalore City, under Bangalore City University, for BBA students, which carries 100 marks. But we don't have any kind of what you call compulsion that we have to conduct sessions like this. But our business skill development coordinator is very active, and he always makes sure that students first understand the concept. Okay, we have to always ignite certain things, put certain things into the minds of students so that they start thinking. Okay, this particular session will definitely help many of you, okay, to just find out how the startups work, how they actually started their business. So now at least some of you, if not all of you, will go back and search for website of DataShips. DataShips is like our home company, where they have always been associated with SICM. The HR of DataShips, he is also the student of alumnus of SICM, Madan. Chetan, Madan, Punit, all are my dear students of first batch. We all have grown together because I started my career with this batch. They always have helped me out. Now, some of the students of SICM are working as employees in DataShips. So when the last year at the time of COVID, when actually I approached Madan, because we had some students who are in need of jobs, and DataShips also had a requirement of people. So it was like a mutual thing, where we gave the database of students and they did an interview. Some of them, they have been working there and they have been promoted also. So they also help us in giving out placements for our college, and they also help us in doing webinars like this. Because I'll tell you one thing, no entrepreneur, as Chetan is the alumnus, if we would have called some other entrepreneur, he would not have given his trade secrets out. Please keep that in mind. Chetan had also given us a hint on what product he is going to bring further, just to give a thought for all of you that as to how a company works. Okay, so this is one positive thing about alumnus of SICM. Like students, whenever they come back to SICM, they have always seen SICM as a foundation for their career, which I'm always happy about. And in a further days also, we would like to associate with the DataShips. Chetan, if you could give us a good opportunity for internships also, that I had already spoke to you regarding this once.
Certainly, madam.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, we are looking out for certain projects, which has quite a few are in green flags out there in the transition. Okay. So I'm sure Madan should be reaching out very soon.
Yeah, sure. Because you can see some of the students are very much interested. If you can mentor them, see, it will be a great help for them.
Certainly.
See, yeah, because out of a strength of 60, if not everybody, at least 6 or 7, they will definitely spread that to their friends. This is what I normally feel, because all 60 cannot be entrepreneurs, all 60 cannot be employed. Each one have their own individual this thing, and we all have to respect it. So thank you so much for accepting our invitation and coming and giving a lot of inputs for us also, because it has been long back that we have seen companies or something like that. I myself, I have not entered a company anytime. I am into this institution only. So it is like a kind of a gap which is bridge between academy and industry, which is very important for teachers now, because we have smart students. You can see the questions which they had posed to you. So we should also be responsible, and we should answer to these questions. So it's very important that we also learn from you people. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and giving this webinar for us. I also thank Pramod sir, who had organized this webinar. And thanks to Amar sir and head of the department, Punita ma'am. It was a wonderful session. Yeah, Navneet
I would
wants
love to thank Madam. I mean, it was my pleasure, an opportunity. As I said, we would go to a lot of webinars, but giving a webinar in front of your teacher and to the same institution where you studied is something special. I had the same feeling when I was had come to the institution a couple of months ago, but I mean, this is really good. I'm always there. If you feel there is anything which I am capable of helping others, please feel free to. Just input, inbox me. I'm there.
Yeah, sure. Now, one thing I would like to say, it's like a great thing for a teacher when he or she shares a platform with her student. That's a great thing, a great feeling, which all teachers have. So with this note, I would like to end, and I request Amar sir to further proceed. Maybe we have one question in the chat box by Navneet. He wants to work with you people. So I'll give your contact to Navneet, or I'll give Madan's contact. It will be
Madan should be the right person.
Yes. Okay. Yeah.
Certainly, Navneet.
Amar sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Now I call Pramod Devi, Associate Professor and BSDC Coordinator, to render the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to all of you. Once again, I am back. Primarily, I would like to thank our Principal Professor Vidya Shivannavar for presiding over the function and also ensuring that sufficient right is given in choosing the resource person from time in and time out, so that we are able to have a stronger database of our alumni and ensure that they only are coming here constantly and upgrading the skill of the existing students. It's like talking to their own brothers rather than talking to a professional. So I would like to thank ma'am for giving such a wonderful opportunity. Then I would like to thank Chetan BV. If I am right, I would pronounce your full name, Chetan B. Venkatram.
Perfect.
For the co-founder and the director of Data Shrubs, for one of the very, very calm, cool and composed almost 1 hour of full fruitful information that you have provided to the students. And our students would have taken a lot of carry forwards from this. I would like to thank Professor Punita Ji, who is the head of the Department of Commerce and the rapporteur and also the guide of this particular session. Thank you for that wonderful welcome speech and also staying with us and ensuring that none of the program is disturbed in due course.
Thank you, sir.
Next, I would like to thank Amar Keche, Internal Quality Assurance Coordinator, for managing the session beautifully with 100% perfect compiling and cooperating in this program by extending himself the support. Even though it was a short notice that the intimation was given in the morning, he has took it as a challenge and has been very successful. Then I would like to thank the faculty members of Department of Commerce. There are many actually, Chetan, here. It would be difficult for me to tell the names. All of them who
Thank you all.
And I would like to add on here, there is one faculty from English. The head of department of English is also present in the session.
Okay.
So it is an added advantage to prove to you that in our college, there is nothing like demarcation between the departments. We are very united.
Awesome.
As you said that you have a strong team, even we have a strong team here.
Yeah.
Among ourselves.
I've experienced it.
Thank you. And
Thank
finally,
you,
I would
sir.
like to thank the student community, first of all, for their patience. And
Yes.
A very surprising to see the very high quality questions that was thrown by the students. The questions
It
were
wasn't
really
surprising.
on par with some excellence. That's what I felt when I.
Yeah, true.
And it also gives me a ray of hope that possibly in the next 5 to 6 years, I may have to invite any of these guys to guide their juniors in the future.
For
So I
sure.
would like to thank all the students for such a beautiful patience that you exhibited in this session. Then I would like to thank Dilip, our office person who has taken care of this computer related aspects. Though we are not all that technically sound, he has ensured that there is not much hiccups and has cooperated in completing this session. So if I have left out anybody, I would like to apologize. But finally, I would like to say that the students will get all required information for your reports and all those things by Monday. So thank you all. Thank you very much.
Considering the time frames, I was sorry I was not able to showcase the website. I'm just putting it in the inbox. If in case people are free, please have a look at it and open. I mean, we are open for suggestions.
No, actually, I have gone through it. In fact, I'll share that website with the students.
Awesome.
Okay. Fine. So thank you, all of you. Finally, now, ma'am, can we end the session? Okay. Fine.
Yeah, while Vidya ma'am is in, I would love to thank each one of you out there, all my friends who are in their golden era of being students of SICM. Please enjoy with whatever you're having as of today, because once you're out of college and the world is completely different, it is another challenge. You'll have a different kind of fun out there. But today, whatever we have, I mean, I still remember the days of SICM, which cannot be, I mean, which nothing is in par with that. So, and considering the age aspect and your interests, I'm wholeheartedly thanking you guys to stay on the session out here, and it was some great set of questions for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Chetan.
Thank you, madam. Thank you, sir. Thank you all.
We'll end the session now. Thank you.
Yeah.